Good afternoon. Today's lesson is for April 16, 2020. You will be able to classify triangles according to size and side length by completing Pathways lessons and activity sheets. Basically, we will be able to tell the different types of triangles either by the size of the angle inside of it or by the length of the side. So let's look at some vocabulary that we have. These are the different types of triangles if we're classifying by their side lengths. We have equilateral, which means that all three of the sides are equal. Here, here, and here. We have an isosceles triangle. That means two sides are equal. So these two sides here are equal. And then we have a scalene triangle. That means all of the sides are different sizes. All of the triangles equal up to 180 degrees. And I'm talking about the angles that are inside of the triangle. So that's another way that we can classify a triangle is by the angles on the inside of the triangle. And I want to go back over our different types of angles that we have. Acute angles measure between 0 and 90 degrees. It's smaller than a right angle. Well, actually, it'd be 0 to 89 degrees. A right triangle goes straight up and down, looks like an L. It measures exactly 90 degrees. And an obtuse angle is larger. It measures anywhere from 91 to 179 degrees. So now we're looking for these different types of angles inside of a triangle. So here we have an acute triangle when we're looking at the angle on the inside. Here we see a right angle here, and then we see an obtuse angle. Here's our obtuse angle. So now, a triangle could have more than one name, so we could classify it different ways. We could classify this one as a scalene triangle because all of the sides are different. It means that we have no congruent sides, and you might see some little marks like this sometimes. And that just means that it's a short line on the sides of a triangle show that the sides are congruent or equal in length. So when I look at this scalene triangle here, all of my sides are different. Well, when I look at this large angle right here, I see that it's an obtuse angle. So this triangle here would be classified as an obtuse scalene triangle because this side is obtuse, and these two angles here would have to be acute, or they would not be the same. When I look here, I have an isosceles triangle. Well, these two sides are the same. This side is different. It has two congruent sides. And then this one would be an equilateral triangle. All of my angles are the same. It would also be considered an acute angle because each one of these sides is the same. So that means that each one of these would have to be the same angle. So we can also think about the different ways that triangles are classified or categorized. Looking at this family tree, so these are all triangles. A triangle is a polygon with three sides, and then we have acute, obtuse, and right. And then it gives us the definition of acute triangles. And all of these anchor charts can be found inside of your Google Classroom if you need to go back and refer to them. So if I had an acute angle, it could either be classified as scalene, isosceles, or equilateral. Because I could have an acute triangle with three sides that are different. I could have an acute triangle with at least two sides that are the same, or I could have one where all of them are the same length. If I had an obtuse triangle, that means that one of the angles measures more than 90 degrees. It could either be scalene, that means all three sides are different, or it could be an isosceles, which is saying that I would have one obtuse angle and then the other two would be the same size. And then if I had a right triangle, That means that one of the angles inside of the triangle measures 90 degrees. It could either be a scalene, which means all three of the sides are different, which one of them is a right triangle, a right angle. Or I can have an isosceles where one of the sides is right, and then the other one is, and then the other two are the same. And all the triangles are equal to 180 degrees. So here we have some different examples of what we see. We're just going to name these here. Well, I have two sides that are congruent, or they are equal. So which one would it be? Equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? I'm going to refer back to my chart here. Well, I see these two are the same. So two sides that are equal is called an isosceles. So this would be an isosceles. So when I look at this one, I said that this was an isosceles triangle because two of them are the same. I could also look at the angles that I see in here, and I've noticed that all of these angles are acute angles. So this would be an acute, I'm not going to write it all out, isosceles triangle. I'm just using an abbreviation there for it. All right. If I were to look at this angle right here, this triangle here, well, the first thing I notice is that there is a right angle here. So whatever it is that I have, this is going to be a right triangle. But now let's look at the type of angles that we have inside to help us classify. So here, all right, I see this angle here, that's acute. And this angle here is acute, but they don't look like they're the same size. So I'm going to say that this is a right scalene triangle. I'm not going to write out the whole word. All right, let's look at this one right here. Well, this one tells me right here that this side is 5, this side is 9, and this side right here is 7. When I look right here, I see a large angle, so I know that this is obtuse. And all of my sides are different. So this is an obtuse scalene triangle. Well, here, sometimes they might give you the angles. In this one, they just gave us the side length. Here, we have the angles. So looking at this, this angle right here is 100 degrees. I know that that's obtuse. And then this one is 40, and this one is 40. So I have two angles that are the same, and one of them is obtuse. So I know, let's see, all three sides are the same. It's not equilateral. Two sides are the same. Yes, so it's isosceles, but it is obtuse. And obtuse, I'm going to put an abbreviation, isosceles. Yeah. All right. And this last one, I see that this side is 10, this side is 10, this side is 10. All of them are the same, so that's equilateral. But when I look at these angles, they are not right angles. They are not obtuse. These are acute. So this is an acute equilateral triangle. So sometimes I might just give it one name if I'm looking at the sides of it. Sometimes I would give it one name if I'm just looking at the angle. But if I'm looking at both, then I'll give it both names. I give it the one for the sides and the ones for the angles. If you have any questions, please refer back to the anchor charts that are found in your Google Classroom.